Okay, so in part one, I went over the sample assignments and the introduction to my writing PLN. Now I'm going to touch on some additional resources and talk about what I have learned and gained from this capstone inquiry. So there's a lot of resources that I would integrate into my classroom, and I'm definitely planning on integrating into my classroom this year and next year and future years. So blogging, discussion forums, movie production, comics, Google Apps, the Read Write Think um, website, and then a blog that I came across at Judo and Rubistar. All have great ideas and all are beneficial to the writing process. So blogging is an excellent way to encourage writing in the classroom. I did a lot of research on blogs, and I found that the studies have shown that students develop a vested interest and become very engaged in blogging and develop ownership to this. And so they are very interested in the blogging. And when people are reading and paying attention and responding to their work that is published online, they seem to kind of put more effort forth into their writing, and their writing improves because of it. I've seen this implemented in a couple of different ways. One would be that the teacher creates a blog and then the students respond to the teacher's post in the comments board, which I'm not sure that I like that way. I feel like a discussion forum would be more appropriate for that kind of response. Also, I think that the students need to be taking ownership of the blogs and making it their own. And so I would rather just post a topic or assign a topic from the classroom and have the students write about it, and also give them opportunities to free write and to really be able to express themselves. So there are lots of great blogging websites available for classroom use, such as EduBlogs, KidBlog, and Blogger. Blogger is associated with Google, and so I would probably be using Blogger since all of my students already have Google accounts. But I know that EduBlog and KidBlog are educator friendly. EduBlog is free for educators, and I believe that they are able to get around the blocks and filters for the schools. Discussion forums are something that we are all familiar with because in our online course we have used them several times throughout our master's careers. So we are Moodle school at my school, so I have used discussion forums in the past. I've used them in many different ways to actually spark discussion, to have students reply to me online, to use as question and answer forums. But I would like to integrate them much more than I actually have in the past. And you can kind of use them in the same idea of blogging as if you're just posting a question and you want students to respond, as we do in the college setting. But students are able to form an opinion and support their positions in their posts. This is where digital citizenship will come in place, and making sure that students are respectful of others in their posts, and although they may disagree, we need to teach them how to respond in appropriate ways. So if your school does not have an LMS like Blackboard or Moodle, there are some free web-based programs such as Edmodo and Schoology. So I think that I've messed around with Edmodo a few times. Before we had Moodle, I was going to use Edmodo, but we have Moodle, so I don't need to use that anymore. But it is very highly spoken of, and I know that a lot of schools use it and a lot of teachers use it to support classroom instruction. Movie production is another way, similar to the Powtoon idea, that you can get students involved in the writing process in a multimodal way through online production. So I would have the students outline their movies and create a storyboard using either Padlet or a digital storyboard template, which I have an example here. And this way they can organize their thoughts, get their photos in order, and kind of do the layout before they make the final product. And it aligns their frames and gets their ideas in order and the narration. And if they do it digitally, they can actually insert the pictures right into the screen here and have their narration go along with the slides. So there's a lot of great software for this as well. iMovie or GarageBand for the Mac users, and then there's KidsVid, Microsoft Photo Story, or Windows Movie Maker. There's also Animoto, which are either web-based or for PC users. KidsVid's a good one because it provides online digital storyboard that the students can interact with right within the website, and it also kind of walks them through the movie making process at each stage. Comics, again, go in hand with the movie production, and Powtoon. This is something you would want a storyboard for the students to map out their thoughts and ideas. This blog has a lot of different suggestions for different comic creation tools that you could use in the classroom. And again, that Read, Write, Think has a comics template as well. Google Apps is another great tool to support writing within the classroom. They can come up with presentations, create forms, do word processing. It's very simple to use. It's very user-friendly. It's all free. The students are most likely familiar with Google and Google Apps. So if you don't have Microsoft Word, or you're looking for a way for the students to be able to work at home and at school or from anywhere, Google Apps is probably the way to go. And also, it's collaborative, so students can work together. I've already talked all about Read, Write, Think, but I had to put it over here as well because it's just such a great tool for writing at all grade levels. They have summary tools, writing outlines, newspaper pamphlets, and magazine templates. There's concept maps, flip books, note-taking, and timelines, and they're all free. So it's just a really great site. Edudo is a great blog that lists all these different Web 2.0 tools that could be integrated into the classroom, such as blogging, word clouds, timelines, mind mapping, desktop publishing. And then as you scroll down, it gives you the links, but it also gives you a description and lets you know if they're free or paid for. And then last is Rubistar. Rubistar I had to add in here because if we are assessing writing, we have to have a common way to assess it through a rubric, and the students should be aware of what they are writing about and what we are expecting out of them. So I always like to present my students with a rubric before they do their project or their writing. And just to show you an example, if you're not familiar with Rubistar, the templates are printable and they're editable, and they give you categories that you can drop down and like the first draft. So if you want to grade a rough draft, you can grade that. It's on a score of 4 to 1, but you can change the name of the categories. Everything's editable to your usage, so however you want to do it, or you can create one completely from scratch. So it's completely up to you on how you want to use this tool, but I thought it was important to include in the resources for a writing assignment. Alright, so this capstone really helped me out in a lot of ways. When we were first introduced to the Common Core standards and the new Ohio Content Standards, all I heard was you have to increase the rigor in the classroom. You have to make it more student-centered. There needs to be more nonfiction reading. There needs to be more writing. The problem was I didn't know how to do this in a way that was going to engage the students, that they weren't going to see 6 times already during the day besides my class, that wasn't going to get repetitive and boring and bog me down with paperwork and ineligible handwriting and get students just giving me a paper to give me a paper or a paragraph to have it done. I want them to be engaged in the writing process and see that writing is not a chore or something that you would be unhappy with doing all the time, that it can be fun and engaging and you can do it in a variety of different ways. So this capstone has helped me to figure out how to integrate all of these elements that I've been preached to about, integrating rigor, talking about nonfiction reading. I mean, I teach social studies, so nonfiction reading is kind of an easy one, but students don't always, again, like it. And to get writing into my classroom in a student-centered way without bogging me down with all these paperwork and having disengaged students. So as I was researching, I realized that writing doesn't have to be done in the form of an essay. It can be shown in a variety of different ways. Students can still be creative and expressive in their written thoughts without writing it with pen and paper. So there's a lot of many engaging fun tools that take the work out of writing process and still accomplish the goals of becoming a successful writer. I feel that using technology, students are going to take a lot away from it, not just in the writing aspect, but collaboration, working, carrying these skills over multiple subject areas and carrying these skills out past high school. So students will be more apt to participate in the writing process if they're writing in a way that they enjoy and using modalities that they enjoy. They will be able to practice and fine-tune their writing skills without the redundancy of writing a paper all the time. They can collaborate, apply critical thinking, improve their writing in a variety of modalities. So my focus for the new SLOs, like I said before, was to write a thesis and support it with evidence, and that students should be able to analyze cause and effect as well as make connections between historical events. And I feel like this technology and these tools will help me to meet my goals. So I feel like I entered this capstone course a little bit intimidated, as it seemed pretty daunting to complete this big project and large research project with so little knowledge about what I was getting myself into and the topic I had chose. However, as the process went on, I became much more knowledgeable about the topic. I realized I did know a lot about integrating technology into the classroom, and I have been doing this, and I have been implementing writing into the classroom much more than I thought, because I was looking at it as strictly pen and paper as well. So personally, this inquiry project made me more confident in my skills as an educator, made me more confident in my expertise in technology, made me more interested to kind of go out and research things on my own. Maybe even I might start a blog. I have learned a lot from this project and throughout the master's program here at Ashland.